Jane, answer Lalonde.
Jane. Hey, Janie. Answer, please. Answer. Jane.
Oh my god. Overreact much? I kept you waiting for all of 2 seconds. Where have you been today?
No, we're just chilling here. When all of a sudden, it hits me that we have something really fucking important to talk about.
This hit you just now? We made plans to get in touch early this morning, and I have seen neither hide nor hair of you all day.
It hits me that Jake's B-Day is coming up really soon. Just a few days before mine, remember? Or I guess it would be if it wasn't for the end of the world that's about to happen.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
I just wanted your advice on what to get him. Something sentimental, I guess? But I mean, I'm mostly tapped out of precious heirlooms ATM, so it's okay. But not like anything coming on too strong. Something that says, this is toast platonic and everything. No eyebrow-raising funny business going on over here. But still says, you know, call me if you wanna.
Grr. Now I know you're joking around to get my goat.
Yeah. The goat getting thing, I mean, but joking? Oh no, I think not. You don't think that if I didn't say he was off limits on account of you being my best friend, I wouldn't be all the hell over that? Damn, that rugged sense of adventure, the delightful, silly vernacular, it's like weirdly and bewitchingly not self-aware. Those adorable teeth. Swoon heart.
No, stop!
Well, shit, Jane. What am I even supposed to do? I can't hit on anybody, and apparently I can entertain nary a frisky thought about anybody because apparently everybody's off limits. Bunch of goddamn typos. Shit sucks. You don't even let me say your dad is hot, even though we both know he way the fuck is. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because it's weird. And you're drunk.
Correction. Drinking. Present tense. Grammar, Jane.
I don't see why you don't try to court the favor of Mr. Strider. If you ask me, he and you are perfect for each other.
Oh, Jane. So naive. So naive.
Lordy, how can you be this far gone so early? It isn't even noon yet.
You forget, we live in very different time zones. It's a lot later here.
You're 3 hours ahead of me.
You would be amazed how much can happen in 3 hours.
What would your mother have to say if she caught you?
Pretty sure she wouldn't give a shit. I mean, she's the one who stocked the goddamn liquor cabinets in the first place. I don't even think she ever had a drop in her life, probably. So, why else is she putting it there? It was like a passive-aggressive dare for me. Aggressive. Just the sort of mind game she would play.
So even if your insane and paranoid theory happens to be true, your response is, screw it. Time to help myself to this mind game booze.
Yep.
Grown. You are completely impossible like this. I cannot believe you chose to do this today of all days. I should have known better. Here I am waking up bright and early, waiting all day with my nose pressed against this glass for the mail to come, and wondering if you'll ever log on. And all the while, you are just getting blind, stinking, schnocker-bottomed drunk.
What you waiting for? In the mail. Is something happening today or something?
Ugh, the alpha! Jeez Louise, you are hopeless.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Are you at all ready to play if it comes?
I guess. But You sure you even want to play this thing? You know it's just what the chatterwitch wants you to do.
Not this again.
If you want to go ahead and be a chump, Jane, is your call. I'm just saying, I know what a chump looks like. And you don't look like no chump I ever saw. If you go through with this, I'll have to add your profile to my chump roll, which is like this real, actual thing I maintain, instead of being a joke. Is that what you want? Want?
The chatterwitch does not exist. It is an idiotic urban legend. How many times have I explained this? My great-grandmother, who founded the company and is accused of holding this identity, would have to be almost 200 years old if she were still alive today. The idea is such preposterous hogwash, it's hardly worth dignifying with a rational response. The iconic face of the company isn't even a real person! She was fabricated long ago during the company's fledgling years.
Right. As, you know, an alter ego? For something more sinister?
Such cuckoo bird nonsense. In any case, I don't understand the nature of this second guessing, besides chalking it up to your unwelcome inebriation. We had agreed you would play with me. You sounded excited about it. Have you even obtained your copy yet?
Yes. Obtained. Sure did.
Through your various technologically cryptographic means, I presume?
Oh, you bet. Hacked the shit out of those tight mainframes and all. Said jackpot like a bunch of times. All those ciphers, bobby traps, backdoor trojans, and whatnot were no match for my codes. Snicker.
I'm quizzically narrowing my eyes, trying to solve the joke you're attempting, assuming it even is one.
Okay, Jane, what I'm saying is that, in the parlance of baking, cause I know that is what gets you off, is that it was a fucking cake-wake. A cakewalk.
Oh.
Like, by which I mean not to say, I'm hot as shit, hacksaw bitch you ever knew, as deadly to the corporate grid as she is beautiful, which I am, but what I mean is shit wasn't even guarded. It was just some files that were there unsecured, and I took them, jacked them right off of that interweb telematrix, then applied lipstick, femme fatale style, and was like, shit, yes, I all kinds of know how to use my web browser to download server files.
Really?
Yeah, so now I got it. If you really want to play, which you shouldn't.
That is a bit puzzling. I thought this software was highly proprietary.
I told you, she wants you to play. Wants us all to. Part of her big plans, and you're playing right into them. Like a
Yes, I know. You've made yourself clear. But what doesn't add up about your story is, I believe somebody doesn't want me to play. How else do you explain the recent attempts on my life?
Dunno. Someone out there wants the stock price to take a hit?
There.
Or it's just more connivings of the witch.
So this hypothetical monstrosity wants me to succeed, but also wants me to die? Makes a lot of sense.
Wouldn't put it past her. Makes you feel persecuted. Redoubles your determination to play. You advance her plans in whatever incomprehensible way until suddenly you did everything she needed you to, at which point you become crazy expendable, yo, and then she expends you like a wad of boon dollars on shitty BC merch.
I see. This is sounding less like a crackpot conspiracy theory by the minute.
Whatever. All I'm saying is a bunch of stuff that's def true to the max. I'll send this file to you, though, and what you do with it's up to you. So you want it now or what?
It's tempting, and I'm curious as heck to play it. But the mail should be coming any minute. I've waited this long for it, so I might as well use the official disc addressed to me. When it comes, I do hope you'll change your tune. Not to mention brew yourself a pot of coffee and sober your drunk butt up.
my drunk butts tune will stay as unchanged as it will remain not drunk. Make my barley coherent words.
Okay, fair enough. But I believe that when we start playing together, you'll come around. Personally, I can hardly contain my excitement over it. If years ago someone told me, which incidentally, someone did, that today I would have an exclusive opportunity to play what is absolutely the most cutting-edge immersive simulation game ever released, developed by a company which has already done so much for the advancement of humanity, I would have said, shucks, Buster, sign me up.
Jane.
Yes?
Jane.
What?
Jane, did you know that I am utterly in love with the fact that I have a best friend who says things like, shucks, Buster?
Shush you, drunkie. Oh.
WTF?
The thing! The flappy thing! The flappy swinging doodad! The arm dealy! The dealy Lalonde! The dealy!
What?
The gone darned red swinging flappy lever arm thingy-mabob, whatever it's called on the mailbox!
Breathe, Crocker. Slow breaths like this. And breathe in regular. FYI.
It's up! It's up! It's up! It's up!
I don't get a lot of mail out here, and I'm no mail expert, but doesn't that mean not the right thing? Like, you're supposed to put it up if you want something taken away, not have the guy put it up if mail comes. I think your mailman is quite possibly a dumbass.
No! Who cares about that? The dealy! The dealy! It's up! It's up! It's here! It's here! It's here! It's here! Ah!
LMA so fucking owing this.
Be right back.
Jane, prepare to retrieve mail. You scamper over to the door, but pause a second to think. Is your dad still washing the car? Hopefully, he's still preoccupied so you can sneak out. But it doesn't hurt to be prepared for an encounter. Luckily, that is exactly what you are. Jane, don clever disguise. Why? Is that his loving daughter? Or could it be none other than Inspector Jacques Clouseau? Mr. Clouseau, what are you doing in this household? Can I bake you a cake? Please, make yourself comfortable while I go about my business not being suspicious. But wait. Perhaps that is not so much the distinguished Inspector Clouseau as it is the world-renowned investigator Hercule Poirot, because the little curly mustache is a lot cuter. The great Poirot in this house? Such an honor. I will set the kettle to boil straight away. Who would have guessed this home would be so heavily trafficked by famous French detectives at this time of day? Oh my, the good Poirot appears to be clucking little pleasantries in his adorable French accent through the high-pitched voice of an enthusiastic teen girl. I surely don't have the heart to ground this upstanding dapper gentleman, no matter how many dastardly attempts are made on her life. Yeah, this is a really shitty disguise. Now Jane, exit. You make a cautious motion toward a beckoning exit knob. When suddenly the same wild character select screen reapproaches non-threateningly. You note that you still cannot pick one of the shadowy characters. But maybe you haven't been the other guy yet. That means it's time to click him. Or maybe you already have been him. In which case you are done with this thing. The narrative really has no way of knowing. Your ass remains firmly planted in the driver's seat. As always. Be Jake. And just like that, back to Jake. What was it you were up to? Oh, right. You were going to pick these dang guns up off the floor when you were interrupted by some fleeting, imperceptible thought. You kind of space out sometimes. Jake, about those arms. Right, you pick up your twin M9 Berettas, weapons of choice in an absurd arsenal inherited from an eccentric old woman. Guns are so cool. Your grandma was rad. Jake, examine holster belt. It's your authentic Tomb Raider sexy thigh strap double holster, complete with cool skull buckle and everything. You like to think you pull it off about as well as Croft herself. Jake, wear it. You like to think that, but in truth you look ridiculous. You think you probably need shorter shorts to make it work? Preferably skin-tight shorts too. As it is, the cuffs of your baggy shorts get kind of bunched up underneath the thigh straps, which is uncomfortable and makes you look like a tool. Okay, forget it. Better off just keeping it in your strife deck. You can draw the guns faster from there anyway. Now Jake, examine bed. You think your bed is some sort of electronic gadget. You're pretty sure those bedpost globes are supposed to glow like light bulbs under certain circumstances. But you've never been able to figure out what purpose it serves. Just more mysterious junk inherited from your eclectic grandma. She also gave you these bed sheets when you were very young, which you adore, but only for sentimental reasons. You aren't too keen on monsters. Jake, examine posters. Which posters? Your whole room is nothing but posters. Sometimes you find it hard to focus on any one of them. You just relax your eyes and get lost in all the incredible heroes and adventures which exploded from the silver screen and into your bedroom, as well as your heart. Movies are so great. You have never seen a movie you didn't like, you are pretty sure. People give you a hard time for that, though. Gosh, you love movies. Almost as much as you love skulls. And movies that have skulls in them, oh my god. So wonderful. Jake, scope out those blue chicks. This is your collection of beauties. But you don't call them that to anyone but yourself in private. Because somehow even you are aware of how dorky that sounds. You are oft times the recipient of a good ribbing from Jane on account of your peculiar fascination with blue movie ladies. Oh, you don't have to justify yourself to her, though. What is even her deal? Any fella would be off his rocker not to fawn over all these bodacious blue knockouts. You want to make out with all of them. Jake, make out with all of them. Dear sweet Natiri from James Cameron's Avatar. Oh, if only you were the one who could have overcome his paralysis on an alien adventure planet to become her boyfriend, instead of that other guy. Then, she could have shown you how to be bold and courageous, and stand up to fight for your people. And maybe later, engage in a bizarre extraterrestrial reproductive process involving ponytails and a magical tree, you guess. You'll show that curmudgeonly Strider who's just a gigantic shitty space furry. You'll show him what marvelous creatures they are. You'll show him what a daring dream it is to combine the finest qualities of humanity with. But seriously, you've got to stop kissing the stupid poster. Jake, stop kissing stupid poster. Yes, that was a waste of time. Definitely. It's definitely not something you spend much time doing whenever you're alone. Which is always. Anyway, here are some other great movies. Weekend at Bernie's? Classic. You really think John would like this movie, if the things you have heard about him are true? Guys in cahoots make the silly corpse of Bernie Lomax do zany puppet antics so their schemes can succeed. Guffaws are plenty, as you have tried to tell Jade before practically verbatim. She doesn't much care for great movies like that, but that's alright. You love her anyway, and you think she's a blast. She says you sound just like John when you say stuff like that, though. And that the two of you would get along famously. You can't wait to meet him. And there are some cage flicks here. But who doesn't love a good cage flick? Nobody is who. Dang, you would kill to get your hands on some authentic cage movie memorabilia. But that'll probably have to remain a crazy dream. Jake, examine package. Speaking of John, this is his birthday present. It is the project that has been taking up all your time lately, and today is the deadline to finish it. You have to send it to Jade so that she has the time to ship it to him across the Pacific Ocean. The transmaterializer you have been using to ship it back and forth is wired to sync up your flow of time with hers. So it's not like you can just take forever with it, and send it to the exact time she needs it. You've thought of that, and considering this bunny is probably going back to the early of 20th century, when she and John were around your age, you figure the mail was extra slow back then. So there is not a moment to spare. Woo, time stuff is pretty complicated, but you are fairly sure you've got this figured out. Jake, examine bunny. Sure is gonna be a sweet gift. Reminds you a lot of the old ratty bunny you inherited from your grandma, who of course is exactly who you are collaborating with to make this thing. Time loops always make you feel a bit fuzzy in the head, but you've always suspected it could very well be the same bunny. At some point in the early 20th century, Jade gave this robo-rabbit to John, and then later it must have wound up back with Jade. Somehow? Then she, removed all the robot parts, hung onto it until she was an old woman, and gave it to you? You guess crazier things have happened. Like the way this whole project started in the first place. Jade tells you this little rabbit here, or Terry Kaiser as you like to call him, will save John's life. He will be sitting there on some sort of chessboard battlefield in yellow pajamas, reading a letter when pow! Kaiser to the rescue. So, you are taking this responsibility very seriously. You have been for years already. In fact, this project gave you a neat idea for what to do for Jane's 13th birthday a couple years ago. You and your other pals all coordinated gifts, each sending a customized rabbit. Lalonde happened to have another bunny heirloom like yours. And Strider... well, Strider was resourceful, as usual. If John enjoys his gift anywhere near as much as Jane did, then it will be time well spent. There's just one problem. Mr. Kaiser here cannot be completed and tested today without a source of power. You will need a little chunk of uranium to power the robot, and you are fresh out of the stuff. You have been plundering all of your devices for uranium to refuel the transmaterializer, which requires huge amounts of power anytime it sandificates or purifies the package from the past. Seems to you like excessive energy consumption for just a simple time machine. But what do you know? Unless it's doing something besides shipping it across time. You couldn't imagine what, though. You really should have remembered to ask Jade for some uranium in your last letter to her. Now you're in a fix. You even yanked the uranium out of your cookalizer and refrigerator. You haven't had a decent meal in weeks. Just a lot of canned food from the ruins. This project has been difficult enough as it is without additional bumps in the road like this. You aren't really the best guy at building machines. Jade has been a big help, but she says she couldn't do this alone. As much as it troubles your pride to admit, this project wouldn't be possible without help from your other two technologically savvy friends. And you are slowly coming to the regrettable conclusion that you will not be able to solve this uranium dilemma without asking for Strider's assistance. He's your best bro and all, but the dude never makes anything easy. Jake, take Bunny. You stash Terry in your puzzle modus. It's quite a handy modus, allowing you to capture log objects of any size, as long as you can fit them all in a finite space by maneuvering the cards around like a big game of Tetris. You like it because it keeps you sharp for solving any puzzles you might find when you go out raiding hallowed tombs. Which is never. The bunny fits in okay, but it's a tight squeeze. The space in your inventory is mainly hogged up by one incredibly huge thing. You guess you should get rid of it, but you can't shake the feeling you might need it someday, and you don't want to risk ditching it and be caught with your pants down later. Jake, examine comics. On your work table, there are a few comic books starring your favourite heroine of all, Spider-Girl. You don't know what it is, but there's something about a girl who has spidery powers and a sassy attitude that is just so cool to you. It's just another quirky fact about you that definitely doesn't have any greater significance, and never will. Jake, take comics. Oh, horse feathers! Forcing the comics into your puzzle Silodex knocked out a bunch of other crap. You have seriously got to reorganize this thing. What were you even thinking capture logging all those bullets at one time anyway? Well, as long as one of your preposterously numerous computers has spilled out of your Silodex, you might as well stop procrastinating and contact Strider too. Oh, hang on. Maybe later. Jake, Answer.
Hello there, darling. Mwah!
Ahoy, madame!
I don't relish troubling you with more arm twisting. I'm sure for all I've done so far, you've had a jolly good workout already. But you will be ready to deliver the package today, yes?
I'm determined as ever to see this through, but as usual, events have conspired to make a boondoggle of this prospect. I think I might be fucked.
How so?
Terry needs fuel, and I don't have any left. I think I'm at Strider's dubious mercy for his solution yet again! I will have to ask him for help. And soon.
Well, there you go, love. Better hop to it.
Yes, I will. But also, there's the matter of the rabbit's armaments. I don't imagine he'll do a lot of frigging good in helping Grandfather Crocker from kicking the old bucket without them. Did you not say you'd supply these?
I did indeed say so. And have already done.
You did? When?
In your future. I relayed the information, enabling you to create the powerful weaponry yourself. And you did. You then sent them back in time. You may recover them in the ruins, which conveniently is where you must go to ship the package once and for all. Bang-up plan we hatched, don't you fancy?
I see. Yes, it sure is if that is the case. Then all that's left to do is find power for it. Oh, and also enough power for the stupid transmateria bob. Ugh! So much to do before shuttling this goddamn thing into the past. I mean, that is what I'm doing, right? Giving it to my grandma when she was a kid, growing up on the same island I did?
That is somewhat close to the truth, and I can see how you would draw that conclusion. But there's more to it you don't understand yet. You will sort it all out in time.
And these are among the dad-blasted causal spoilers you refuse to dish out.
Somewhat. It wouldn't hurt you much to know the truth, I imagine. It's just the truth is a wee bit complicated. Perhaps a draft of the cascading sequence from which your reality has arisen will put your mind at ease. Imagine two universes, A and B. Now imagine there are two instances of each universe, A1 and A2, and B1 and B2. The first instance of each is like a test run that does not quite succeed. The second instance, though, will meet all of its purposes. Now consider that A1 begets A2, A2 begets B1, and B1 begets B2. And the participants of B2 are the ones who will make an effort to exit all this turbulence and falderall. You are one of them, and your young ancestor is another, though she is presently stationed in B1. And yes, she is in the past, though not quite as far as you believe. Nor does she occupy the same stream of continuity.
I'm not sure I completely followed that, but okay.
That's the best I can do for now, primarily because I will not risk wasting much more of your time.
So you are still in contention that I will meet our elders as youths?
Oh yes!
Aha! Then I will be travelling through time! I knew it. Or they will be, whichever it is. Which is it, by the way?
Causal spoilers, Sir English. Given the nature of the quest waiting for you, it wouldn't be shrewd of me to rule out the employment of time travel by any individual. But I will say that you'll probably prey to a basic misapprehension about the nature of this rendezvous. It will not take place on Earth. It will happen inside the game you're about to play.
Oh, well shit!
Indeed.
This is frightfully exciting. I would love to meet them. I never got to know my grandma very well, and it always seemed like she led an amazing and adventurous life. Then this seemed to be proven true in my correspondence with her, so I'm really looking forward to it.
So true. I'd pay a hefty ransom to get to know my forebears.
I remember you mentioned your race doesn't really jive with ours, familiarly speaking.
Correct. I never knew those who one would identify as my parental equivalents. It is in the way that my race propagates. Our ancestors precede us by millennia.
Well, yes, ours do too, but generally we have all these other people in between them, and the most recent ones are called parents. So I guess you do not have those, like, systematically?
Nope, never did.
Well, neither did I! Miss Alien, I think we are like birds of a feather, you and I. When do I get to learn your name, by the way?
Truthfully, it may be for the best that you never know it. It could stir up some things best left in their present equilibrium. And now I think I should bollocks off and leave you to it.
But wait, there are still some things I'd like to know. About today, about this game.
No more procrastinating. Contact your friend, darling.
Yes, fine, okay, I will, but just please tell me, in the least causally spoilery way possible, what are we even trying to accomplish here? What is even the rootin' tooting point of this game?
I think you will have more fun than you can imagine finding out. But stated concisely and short of spoilery, as you so charmingly put it, your objective today is to pave the way for the arrival of gods. Kisses!